What is going on, everybody? Back on it, Berserk Manga's chapter 44 and 45. Before we jump into this, there should be a poll up the same time this video goes up on Monday. I'm curious just if you guys are interested in doing like once a month or once a week. Well, let's start with once a month. Movie reactions, if that's something you guys are interested in. I know a lot of you are on the channel for different reasons. Some of you are only here for Berserk, some are only for One Piece and Monster and vice versa, but there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. If it's not Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Matrix, that's it. That's literally about it. Some of the majors, like I've seen none of the Predator movies. Trying to think of other major movies. Never seen like a Fight Club or a uh, just really anything. Never seen Tenant or Revenant or really anything. Pulp Fiction. Like my movie selection is the same way when I started this channel, and the only anime I had watched was Naruto. Same thing with movies. So there's gonna be a poll up. Just if you guys are interested in that, it's gonna be a simple yes or no, and then we'll just try to get selections and go from there. It'll be a process, but maybe by September or the middle of September we can get that started and going. Jump into this. Guts shows up to the rescue. I'm really curious to see how this goes. Like I said, I've been loving the story. Story's great. You know, it's anticipation build up. You're kind of waiting for that like Darth Vader moment to happen and see it. We know it. You know, we have a year. We're waiting for the eclipse. We've seen Zod. We've seen a what did we call him? A Skull Knight Rider, whatever his name was. The only thing I've been disappointed in, which I'm still gonna wait and hold out hope for, I wanted to see Griffith's mental get to that point, and maybe that's something we'll see. It doesn't. Maybe it's not now. Maybe we have 300 something chapters left. I want to see what he's thinking about during that process of getting tortured day after day. Is he thinking about himself? Is he thinking about everything he's lost? Is he thinking about Guts? Like what's going through his mind there? And when does it finally get to the point where it's just like fuck it? You know, we'll see. And I'm guessing they're gonna follow Guts here. Do they attempt to go get him back? I don't know. We'll see. Let's go over here. Press play on that. That's very loud. Let's go ahead and do it. Chapter 44. Cursor, Mike, good. Comrades in arms. And just shows up, saves the day. I mean, they're gonna be. This is the reaction I was expecting. The only thing that would get a better, like, oh my god, we can live again and maybe get back to what we had. Griffith is the only thing that could walk up and have this type of reaction. I have a feeling if, say, Guts and Casca left, Casca shows up in this moment, she doesn't get this reaction. I don't think so. Look at the boy, so happy to see him. Rickert. Guts. Hi, Rickert. Still alive, huh? It's really been a year. Dang, I can't believe we just skipped like that. I wanted to see every point of view. I wanted to see Guts going through the year, Griffith, this group. They cheated me out of that. But the squad's still here for now. He's crying. Rickert's crying. Corcus, shut up. Captain Guts. Ah, the Raiders. Wow, his squad. Still holding it down. We've never really seen, and they didn't show us any of it, but Guts did have like a Raiders group. We never really saw him close with anybody in that group or a second in command. I don't even know if we got a name drop of anybody, you know? We don't have time to stand around. The enemy will come back. We move while it's still dark. Unit 1, secure the campers. Secure the camp's perimeter. Units 2 and 3 carry out the arms and provisions that weren't burned. Everyone else gather up on the horses. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they won out on the battlefield and the enemy retreated. Like, they're still just kind of shit out of luck. And she still is in command. If it wasn't for them, it sounds like the past year they would have got picked off a long time ago. So does the power shift to him? Does he not want it? Like you could take it, Casca, but they naturally default to him. It's gonna be an interesting dynamic of how that goes. Casca, we'll talk later. She's right, we need to hurry. Griffith was... It happened a year ago, the day after you left. I don't believe it, that Griffith would... Why? Oh, did word get out? On why he was captured? I'm sure that slipped out. The whole... Charlotte's whole... like... handmaiden group knew about it, so... I'm sure word got around. I don't believe it that Griffith would. Why? After you left, Griffith was really depressed. What I think is it must have been over you, Guts. Judo comes up and yeah. And one night, the glorious band of the Hawk, the mightiest military force in Midland, became a wanted band of thieves. It's enough to make me laugh, but hey, don't let it go to your head. Orcus, bro. If you don't want to be here, leave. Didn't Ricker already press you on this an hour or so ago and you didn't have a response? The reason this happened to Griffith ain't because of you. No way, not a chance. Yeah, he doesn't want to think that Guts could have that big of an impact on him, on Griffith and everything that they built. In 1 year, we've dropped to less than a fifth in number. Damn. Some fell to the enemy, some left on their own. We can't even be called an army anymore. But it still could have been worse if Casca hadn't become our leader. By now, a band of the Hawk without Griffith would have scattered to the winds. The band itself wouldn't exist. I mean, they're literally like starting from scratch. Did not just that, I think we would have been wiped out that day if Casca hadn't taken command. Look at this, 3 arrows deep and shit. She was amazing. Without any weapons, surrounded by close to 10 times our numbers, she rallied everyone on the verge of panic with arrows coming down like rain and led the vanguard in breaking through one side of the net. She continued to command us all to the end, not losing consciousness even with 5 arrow wounds. So since then, Casca has been acting as our leader. Not one person opposed it after that terrific deed. Judo the storyteller. Judo does a really good job of like painting pictures. To be honest, I think it's a little unfair to her, but we've got no room for any other option. If the Hawks are to survive, well, it's not all grim news. We haven't only been running around. Today a report came from spies slipped into Windham that they found Griffith's location. We're soon going to move forward on a plan we've been going over Oh, so they've been planning it. Okay. I didn't give them the benefit of the doubt last chapter when they had mentioned, like, oh, we found his location. Well, hell, let's try to go get him. It looks like they've had a plan. They just needed to find out where he was. How do you plan to do this? This is worse number odds than when they had to go get Doldry or Shooter or whatever the hell it was. How do you plan on getting in? And the thing is, you also need Guts in there, and he's not someone that just, like, is not easily recognizable. We'll rescue Griffith. Everyone still here is worn out. We've been chased around so badly we're all covered mind and body with wounds. But there's no one left who would try to leave. No one's been coerced into staying either. I think at Corcus, if he thought a better opportunity showed up, he would. In the end, everyone here is for better or worse a Hawk to the core. Courage and willpower alone aren't about to cut it, especially not now. We don't go just to save Griffith. We can't get started again without him. Well, the question is, have you thought about it? Or thought about trying to? What if word came out tomorrow and made its way to them that they killed Griffith? We know that as a reader, but have they thought of the alternative? That they finally stopped torturing him and killed him? Would, like, all hope be lost forever, or would you just try to get some kind of life? It's a good thing. You know, when the place you come back to hasn't changed, it's a good thing. On that note, what have you been doing this past year? Yeah, what has he been up to? Haven't rumors about the Hawks spread to other countries? How come you didn't come sooner? Pippin done dotted him up on the... Bro, I mean, I don't know where Guts has been. That's what I'm saying. That was Midland's greatest might, but they were... But before we even got there, it sounded like Midland was the leading world power, at least. And the Hawks just took them over the edge. Like, they were already, like, 2 steps ahead, and they got cranked to a 10 with the Hawks, and then getting that Doldry back, it seemed like everything was good to go, but their military might did take a major hit, and we don't even know the current status of the King's mental, by the way, so who knows? He could be sending troops places where they shouldn't be going, not sending and getting overrun. It could... I don't know what the current status of world powers are. I'm sorry, Rickert. I really didn't know. But how? Were you on a deserted island or something? I went into the mountains and swung this sword. Oh, shit. Mountain training? Practically was a deserted island. So he just went into the mountains for the year and just hacked away at the side of a cliff? That's a lot of thinking time. What's the conclusion you came to? Well, that's pretty old-fashioned, but, well, I guess it's your thing. You must be really crazy about it. Man, Rickert really does look at Guts as, like, a father... Not a father figure. Maybe he does, or bigger brother. I feel like Rickert has more admiration for Guts than he does Griffith. I think... And I feel like that's that for a lot of them. Griffith is, like, this lord-like god figure, savior in their eyes. But Guts to them maybe seems like something that could be obtainable, like that's something to look up to strive for. He's just playing crazy. So did you find it? You know? Honestly, I still don't know. But I found out one thing. No, I felt it. Seems like for me, nothing but wielding this really feels true. There's no other answers. It feels natural. And that's the thing, though. It's kind of like... What else could he say? He's been so conditioned to that I feel like even if he tried to put the sword down and remove himself from that life, he literally knows nothing else. It could be anything else. Take the sword out of his hand and say he was a blacksmith or he was a farmer or something like that, like from the time he was that young. And he'd just been doing it. Going from town to town being a blacksmith or town to town being a farmer. You can't just like get rid of that. This is a little bit different because this is life or death, so that connection might be a little bit deeper, but if you can say that with a straight face, then well done. Anyway, you're coming back is proof we still had some luck left. I hope you'll help us. Raiders captain. Yeah, and this is... I'm curious what his answer is going to be. Does he want to? He only came back, I think, to just check what the hell's going on. Does he just stay to rescue Griffith and then he's out? Is he back? I don't know. Oh, God. Corcus, bro. You mean former Raiders captain. Corcus, I won't recognize it. I don't know if it was for some dream or what, but he left on his own. He wasn't here when things were at the worst for us. Think I can call someone like that a comrade? He didn't leave when things were worse. He left and then they got worse. He left, you guys were at the top that you could possibly go. Couldn't go any higher. It's unfortunate circumstances that everything kind of dominoed after he left, but that's not on him. Well, even if I close my eyes to the past right now, as strangers go, you're the real deal. At least get that straight. Come on, Corcus. I get it. And they're all... I mean, these boys are giddy as hell running around calling this man captain and shit. Captain, how long are you gonna talk about this stuff? Come on over and let's have a drink. Oh yeah, Gaston, what about your clothing shop? Does it look like Gaston has had a chance to get a clothing shop in Windham going? Yeah, about that. I ran out on it. You know, when I heard what happened to these guys, I couldn't just stay. Oh, let me skip this. Oh, so he did get it going. Wow. But the streets called him back. You know, when I heard what happened to these guys, I couldn't just stay there. All it did was frustrate me. Same for you, right, Captain? Yeah, what is he doing here? I'm curious. Wait a minute. Before that. Judo, man. I hope you're out there living life, buddy. I don't think he is, but he's definitely the moral level head of everything. What about Casca? I'm guessing this is in a whisper. Thanks to those wounds a year ago, she spent 3 days and 3 nights in a comatose state near death. Oh, she wasn't cuddled up by Guts that time. During that time, she had nightmares and called out over and over to Griffith. And to you. Yeah. I think her mind wants Griffith, but her heart wants Guts. Drink, Casca, drink, drink. She's pushing herself harder than it looks. She's always been the one with too much on her shoulders, but there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. You can. What is he saying? Like, take this burden off of her? We don't even know if he wants this, and who's to say she's willingly going to give that up? She might pull the same thing Corcus said and was like, I mean, maybe a little politer, like, I recognize it, but you weren't here when stuff fell apart, so why do you think you can... I don't know. There he goes again. Out there by the trees and shit. Oh, she approaches him. Interesting. Look at this shot. Like I said, I think I said this last chapter. This has been his best look so far, in my opinion. Come with me for a bit. Wow, she approached him. She's definitely had to grow up a lot here. Not to say that she wasn't, but I don't think she's afraid or hesitant to like approach a situation or do anything, you know, at this time. Like I said, they're approaching him with all these like questions and, oh, you came back. Are you going to lead us now? You know, back to leading the Raiders? Like, we're going to get him. He hasn't said anything. Like, oh yeah, that's definitely why I came back. I heard that you guys, and I knew I couldn't leave you. Like, what's this guy's name? We just said it. I want to go back and actually remember his name because we have seen him a couple times. What was his name? Where is he at? Where is he at? Where is he at? What's his name? Gaston. Gaston. Gaston heard, dropped his dreams, and dipped. I feel like Guts just had a duty to feel like checking in. Who's to say he wants to go back in this life or lead them, or... I don't know. Hopefully we get that clarification. Oh no. Why are we doing... Like, she's just kidding, right? We're not actually going to sit here and throw hands. Are we going to fight for whoever's leading this group? Like, what do you want here, girl? Hey, hold on. What's this about? We've hardly spoken in a year, or we're just going to have at it? Girl. Well, this is like you, but you gotta be kidding. Please stop this. Please stop this. Why are we doing this? Oh, so she was like really trying to take a head off. Why are we doing this? Timeout, hold on, hey, that strike, you really tried to kill me. Look at the face of hers. We've never seen her face animated like that before. Yikes. She's serious. He still hasn't even unsheathed his sword, though, by the way. I don't know what Solo 101... First of all, he was already ahead of most men in the planet, on the planet. When he left, he was even above Griffith. So now she's been clanking swords. And he's just been training. So you could say it was the same thing, kind of like when Griffith and Guts had their round too. Like, Griffith, it's great and all, but you haven't been out there like Guts has. She has been out there, but the gap was so massive, and we know he trained, so he hasn't taken out his sword yet. Don't mess around, draw your sword. She's swinging and missing, and he's tripping her and shit. What are we doing here, Casca? Can we just, like, put this shit away? What are you trying to prove? What are we doing here? Is she trying to see, like, maybe if I'm on his level, I can... But no, why would she want to fight Griffith? I don't know. What the hell's with you? Reckless as ever I see. Tell me why it's a little much for you to try to kill me when we haven't seen each other in a year. Yeah, I want to hear this. This is the question of the day. Was it just on an impulse to check on them? Did he want to lead them when he heard, or what? It's your It's your fault. You destroyed all of it. It's your fault. How are you putting that on me, number one? Like, I get it. I left and then these things happened. But what was I supposed to do? Just sit here for the rest of my life and follow this man around? Like, that's not what I want or wanted. Why can't you guys go on without me? It's not my fault he fell into just a crippling depression within 48 hours, and how are you putting that on me? Why didn't you guys try to check in on that man or make sure he didn't do anything crazy? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, he drew it. He drew the sword. Mine? Yes. Griffith, the Hawks, everything. You messed it all up. Bruh. If I never showed up, you guys would have never reached the mountaintop. I literally supported you on my back to the mountaintop and left you guys there. You guys lost it. How? Because you left us. Because you abandoned Griffith. Can you disarm her for a second? Wait a minute. You can't be serious. This is Griffith. Griffith because I left? There's no way things could go wrong just from that, right? Couldn't be. You really are a complete fool. Ah, Lord. I thought I told you back then that someone who wants to accomplish something, if it's grand, endures that much more than other people do? That someone wants to accomplish something, if it's grand, endures that much more than other people do. Griffith had to make himself strong. But Griffith isn't a god. A person's heart can't be sustained by ideals and dreams alone. You made Griffith weak. Griffith's no good without you. But you guys worshipped and followed him before I got there. Like, I understand what they're saying, but from Guts' point of view, like, so do I just stay around forever and do Griffith's dirty work and kill and try to survive just so he doesn't crumble? I don't know. See, Griffith isn't a god. She's actually lowering him a little bit there. She saw him as this, like, majestic figure. Oh, wow. She actually stabbed him. We're really doing this. It's been a year. My man hasn't gotten injured once. Starts hanging around Casca again, and shit goes sideways. That's crazy. You should have been able to dodge. Why? That's enough. Let go. Then what else should I have done? Idiot, let go. I only did what Griffith would have done. If we don't stanch the bleeding, I just did my own thing. What else should I have done? Dang, he's still holding. Alright, I get it. Let go, you fool. Are we done now? Everyone's gotten it up out of their system? Orcus and Casca seem to be the only two with issues. So hopefully we're good to go. I know what you're saying is right. Really, I do, but I just can't take it anymore. Okay, good. She came to her senses. Hope we're done thinking that, like... I've never heard this tune either. Oh, okay, good. It looks like it's on the playlist. I told you before that I want to be beside Griffith. That I want to be his sword. Yeah, I remember. That wasn't true. That the me who wished to become that way was bluffing. I'm sure I genuinely meant it at first, but one day I realized Griffith's not a god, and I am a woman. How easy would it be if I could just make my heart feel the way I want it to? Oh, is this when the epiphany started? When she... I'm not stupid, I realize if Griffith set his sights on the throne of Midland, marrying Princess Charlotte would be the... Yeah, that's what I said. This statement right here. All Griffith had to do, which we know Destiny and Fate has already been written, all he had to do was just wait right here. I really do think the king would have came around to it. Well, I don't know, now knowing he wanted his own daughter, maybe he would have never given her up to anybody, but I feel like if it was nurtured properly and Charlotte expressed, like, you know, I'm in love with Griffith and he's leading commander of the world's strongest army, and you've already rooted out everybody that seemed to have a problem with someone as common as him going up the ranks. I feel like it could have gotten to a point that maybe he would have married her off. Now, again, like I said, he clearly seems to want his daughter, but was it more of like a trigger? I don't know. And knowing Griffith, I figured he'd be sure to take it someday. Maybe even what's happening now. I thought I could bear even this. I wanted to believe if I couldn't be near him as a woman, as his sword, it would be alright so long as I could become something indispensable to the realization of his dream. I wanted to believe, but I finally understood clearly that day a year ago, that there was no longer room next to Griffith the way there used to be. Yeah, I felt like the only one that could pull up a chair next to Griffith was Guts. Pull up a chair in his mind, in his heart, on an actual fighter level. Everybody else is just part of the group. Oh wow, so that was her dream. So what's her dream now? My dream had already ended. I can't do it anymore. Desperately trying to protect the band of the Hawk. It's like I was going to disappear if I didn't at least cling to some fruitless hope, but enough's enough. I couldn't be a woman or something invaluable to keep on protecting the almost broken dream of someone who might not be alive. Yeah, her leading the Hawks is like, that's Griffith's thing that she's trying to hold together by like duct tape and shit. And if you never get him back, or if they end up killing him, what is the Hawks? Like, are you wanting to support that? Is that still something? I don't know. There's a lot of questions of like what happens with the group if Griffith doesn't come back. I just can't. I'm so tired. You do the rest. I mean, was she walking back that whole time? I mean, we catch her, correct? Hello? I mean, you see, it's hard to tell in the panels, but I can see this being animated like crazy. We see her like talking and naturally like getting closer to the waterfall or whatever the hell's going on. Did she like mean to faint? Or did she really mean to like, hey, I'm giving this to you, I can't, my dream, everything I put my heart and my soul into, I realize like it's never going to be possible, it's never going to be a thing, so I have no purpose. So now that I know the Hawks can maybe be led, I can finally take a deep breath, and that I mean, I guess we'll score. I mean, he catches her, right? Or at least the chapter's not going to end, so we'll. Okay, he does catch her. Oh, jeez, what are we doing, girl? And there was one more thing I realized that day. Though he destroyed everything, though he took it all from me, even though I hate him, even now, though I feel like I want to kill him. She's saying this all in her head, right? She loves him. Oh, she didn't finish. We didn't get the rest of that statement. This is all in her head because I'm guessing it's not in bubbles. So she's talking about Guts, clearly. There's one more thing I realized that though he destroyed everything, though he took it all from me, which I was talking about him, right? Even though I hate him, though I feel like I want to kill him. Making sure I didn't miss a word bubble here anywhere. No, nothing. What the hell are you thinking? Look here, don't you ever go near a cliff again. Yeah, we got some bad luck here. I can't deal with being dragged off 2 or 3 miles. You fool. You're always getting hurt. Always because of me. You're always bleeding. Okay, guys. Can we just... Like I said, there's so much... What are we on? Chapter 40? We got 320 something chapters. I'd love for these two to have a future and shit. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe they can get a moment before it's all done. And maybe it would be pretty cool to see... Like I said, I don't know if we'll get like an Avengers team up or... Spoilers, if you haven't watched Attack on Titan. Or we just get the gang back together and try to go put this God Hand down or something like that. But I don't think... I don't know, really. I think it's a 50-50 chance. I don't know. I have a lot of people like hint one way and then hint another way, and then people say you're spoiling, and then people say you're not spoiling, so it's a lot. I want this to be a thing. I want Judo and Rickard and Pippin and the gang to just hang out and shit. Current timeline, but I just don't think they do. But I think she's coming to the realization. I think right here she was going to say, though I feel like I want to kill him, like I love him or I'm in love with him, and she's like, I feel like we're about to get that. What the hell is this? Ah, you're always bleeding. You're such a fool. There she goes crying again. Does he even know how to deal with this? Do they finally? Well, he grabbed her. She looks up, and that's how it ends. Alright, we finally get... At least they did it. I don't know what this turns into. But hey, maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe the gang will roll up on them. You know, it's wild is because like neither of them have had interaction with anything in their lives. Like, she's never dated or been around other guys, and which I mean, she's been around guys, but never had like a romantic, and he hasn't either. I think this is the only girl he's ever been around in his entire life, correct? So it's good they get that moment. I don't know if they'll have a moment where they really talk about what this means. Currently, them kissing and getting to that point. I'm glad they got that moment though, but thinking of the bigger picture here, the year has passed. And it's been hinted at. I don't know if Zod talked about it. But then Skeleton Knight, Skeleton, Skull, Purple Rhino, Dolphin guy talked about the eclipse and it happening in a year, and it has been a year. So I don't know how much of these moments we're gonna get here of seeing Rickard looking up to Guts as like a big brother or a father figure, and seeing the guys just rally to Captain Guts and leader of the Raiders, and everyone's so happy to see him, and him and Casca finally get their moment, and it's great to see everybody just kind of get some joy for a little bit. Well, I mean, the past year has been tough, but everybody was getting joy before the year. I mean, you guys were elevating through the ranks like crazy. I wonder when it, like, is it next chat? Well, you figure they might be able to get some of these moments for a little bit, because I don't know why you would name drop that we've been coming up with a plan for the past year to rescue him. I don't think they're just going to roll up on Midland's gate tomorrow and carry out the plan. Like, they're going to try to piece it together here. So maybe we'll get a couple chapters of them getting to have a little bit of this before either one or everybody's killed or people get scattered or Griffith turns. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll get to enjoy that, because we know what's up with current timeline Guts. The man doesn't like to be touched, and he seems to have no friends. So, I don't know if that means they're all dead or they're not alive, or... We'll see. We'll go ahead and leave that there. Again, like I said, there should be a poll up right now when you guys are watching this. Simple yes or no, and we'll kind of take that from there. This will be up on Monday, and we'll be back with chapters 46 and 47 on Friday. Appreciate it, everybody. Y'all enjoy your week. Like, share, favorite, subscribe as always.